The best thing that you can do in life, this is what I have learned from personal experience, is to evolve. Basically, to evolve means to elevate your mindset, elevate your mental health, and elevate your health. To continue to grow, to continue to have more opportunities of success within your own life. Evolving basically looks like just continuing to master your skill set within your own mental health, within like how you are living your life. It basically means to continue to rise and to ascend within health. Basically, it's health mentally, it's health spiritually, it's health emotionally. And when you are healthy spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, the aspects of your life begin to change. You begin to have more success, you begin to have more positivity, you begin to live in ways that are more spiritually well, and you begin to have a life that is based on a more pure and positive sort of vibration. One of the best ways to first begin to evolve is to take a look at how you can heal your trauma, because everybody has trauma, whether it's like trauma they've experienced as a child or whether it's just the everyday life that we kind of all live. It can be very traumatic. The world can be very traumatic in its own sense. The amount of stress that every human being goes through sort of on a daily basis can be so fucking traumatic that it's crazy that it's just so normalized. Trauma is so embedded within our own psyche that we just don't even understand how traumatized some of us are as individuals. And because of this, we lead lives of poverty, of scarcity, and of toxicity without even realizing that the root of the reason why we live this way is because there's so much trauma embedded within our own psychological our own mind, that it's hard for us to live in a healthy, positive manner because we need to heal. And when we can kind of acknowledge the fact that we need to heal, we can start to do things like go to therapy, like to read books, like to kind of like be aware of the ways that we live. And therefore, when we are aware, we can actually start to make positive changes. Something that helped me was to first just acknowledge that I have so much traumatic stuff that happened to me when I was younger, and because of this I've been through substance abuse, I've been through rehab, and I continue to go to therapy and kind of just like take a look at what that means to me. And what it basically means to me is like I want to live in ways that are positive. I want to have success. I want to be free where I can just do what I want because I have the money and I have the time. I want to have relationships that are not just about getting fucked up and talking about bullshit. I want to have good relationships. I want to treat people right. I want people to treat me right and to respect me because I am living in a manner that deserves respect. I want to like wake up on the fucking beach someday. I want to go travel. I want to go travel the world. And I want to also I don't want to work the rest of my life. I want to monetize my passions and my skill set so that I can have the money to live the type of life that I deserve to live. And I realized that I can't necessarily evolve to such a state of being unless I heal myself. And so what it really means to sort of evolve, and especially in like the beginning stages of it, is to heal, because it's just so embedded in every single human being, especially with the society that we sort of live in, especially like in America. It's so fucking stressful and traumatic that people just work most of their lives, and then they end up just on the weekends or when they have free time getting fucked up. This is like how I have experienced in my life. Most people around me are living, including adults. This seems to be a very common lifestyle, or people just work so much that they don't even have time to recognize that they have a life outside of work. And so kind of what I've realized is it's very hard to evolve when you're so distracted that you can't even recognize that you need healing. And like every fucking person really could use therapy. Every fucking person could use healing. And it kind of sounds maybe contradictory for me to say so, but I have recognized that the world around me is a very toxic place. And whether or not it's very acknowledged within your own existence, healing is something that I believe that every human being deserves to experience. Whether it's just like weekly therapy sessions, or whether it's doing a meditation retreat, or whether it's just starting to journal, like these things allow you to acknowledge your own existence, and within acknowledging your own existence, you begin to acknowledge your own pain. And when it comes to healing, it's a sort of process and it's a sort of journey. But what I have realized, and I want to share with you guys from my own experience of life, is that even though to this day I still sometimes struggle with substance abuse, even to this day I have a lot of relationships, like intimate relationships, where I can't really relate to people around me, where I can't really be intimate because I'm still scared of it. Even though I struggle in such ways, I still wake up every day low-key excited to be here, like on earth. Like I still kind of wake up like, damn, I'm really like, I'm excited to wake up. Like, I don't know how many people can say the same, like they're excited to wake up, but I hope people can. But I become excited to wake up, even though that there's still depression and healing, a lot of healing I need to do. I still have like understood, I've elevated myself to a point of existence to where I can recognize the darkness that I need to deal with and I need to go through and journey through, and I have journeyed through. But I can still live in a way where my mindset and my heart space is clear enough to where I'm like, damn, I really am grateful I woke up today. I'm grateful I woke up today. And when you begin to choose to recognize that life is almost like a journey of evolving, like that evolving is what we are meant here to do. It's basically, we all come from traumatic backgrounds, no matter how small the pain that you've experienced in your life. Every human being has come from some sort of trauma. And even if maybe you had a great life, like I said, I had a great life growing up, the world around us is just so full of fucking trauma in every sort of like sort that it's hard to not be traumatized in some sort of sense, whether you recognize it or not. So basically what I've experienced in life is all about evolving, which basically means we grow up with trauma, we grow up with insecurities, we go through high school and school and all that fucking bullshit that we have to deal with, all that stress from school, and then we go into jobs that we hate, like all of this. But there's a certain point in our lives where I believe every human like deserves to recognize that anything that you were dealing with right now, any sort of pain, any sort of suffering that you're dealing with, it doesn't have to always be experienced. What I kind of started to realize in my own life is that there's pain and suffering that I experience that I believe I don't need to experience. I believe that I can change certain things that I do. I can change the way that I live and the way that I think in order to ascend the suffering that I'm going through. And it's so hard, and I'm just like talking about like it's a very casual thing, and it's not. But this is why I believe we have our whole lives almost to ascend suffering in some sort. And this can be very deep, because what I'm talking about here basically goes into the roots of like what enlightenment is and what the Buddha believed kind of the goal of life is. And it can be very contradictory because there's a lot of obviously contradiction revolving religion and spiritual beliefs. But I just wanted to share this because I genuinely have experienced in my own life such a deep, profound, almost awakening, where I have come to the realization that life is about ascending suffering. And it's a hard thing because we suffer so much sometimes and we don't even recognize like how much we are suffering. Like we're just suffering and we don't even know it. We know obviously, or we can feel it our everyday lives, how we wake up and we experience toxicity and bullshit. But sometimes such toxicity and such like bullshit we experience is so normalized that we don't even recognize that, damn, this is bullshit. I don't deserve to deal with this. I don't need to deal with this. I don't need to wake up and go to this fucking job that I hate every day where people treat me like shit, or like my manager disrespects me, or I'm exploited. I don't need to do this because I have other options. So many people are stuck in such ruts of suffering and putting up with shit that they don't deserve to put up with, because they simply do not recognize that they don't have to deal with it. That if something sucks in your life, you have the power to change it. And like literally I just come to this realization, but like I would recognize that I'm tired of feeling like a victim of things. Like I'm tired of being like, oh, this sucks and this is causing me so much suffering in my life, whether it's a person, a job, the place that I live. I was tired of looking at this shit and being like so resentful towards it. So I'm like, what I can actually do is recognize that I can change it. I can change where I live. I can work on getting myself out of basically slave work, which is a job that I don't want to do, but I only do it for the money. It's slavery. And it's labor that You know, I believe life is work, but I don't believe that all of us, most of us, ton of us, a large percentage of the world, we're all working jobs that we fucking hate and where we're extremely exploited and underpaid because we don't ever think to ourselves that maybe we have another way. That maybe we have actually passions and skill sets that we can utilize to not live this way. And so basically evolving is about looking at all these aspects of your life where you are suffering in extreme amounts, where sometimes you're not even aware how much you're suffering, and telling yourself, I can actually change this. I have the power to change this. Because you do have the power to change it.